Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Concealer Fest, and we are spending some time on the high end today. We are going to check out from Giorgio Armani the Luminous Silk Face and Under Eye Concealer. Retails for $38 for 0.4 ounces or 12 mils of product. Comes in 20 different shades. I have shade 3.75, which is described as very fair with a pink undertone. This one's getting over 4 stars. It is 4.4 out of 5 stars on Sephora's website. It's described as a multi-purpose hydrating concealer that provides up to 24 hours of hydration, highlights, corrects, and conceals with buildable medium coverage and a flawless radiant finish. That sounds lovely. Let's take a look at this 3.75 shade swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time! First up is today's concealer from Giorgio Armani, the Luminous Silk Concealer in shade 3.75. Second, I've got the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Vanilla. Third up is the Tarte Ultra Creamy Concealer in 16N. Fourth is from Lorac, the Pro Soft Focus Concealer in 1.5 Fair. And last I've got from Pat McGrath, the Sublime Perfection Concealer in shade L4. We have a triangular doe foot applicator here. Let's take a look at one side. Ooh, this might even be a little bit too light for me. Shocker. I've got a Beauty Pie concealer brush we will use on one side. Now sometimes a radiant finish on concealer is kind of confusing because if you have under eye crepiness, the general effect is that the radiance can sometimes accentuate crepiness, but hopefully this is hydrating enough that we're not going to have that effect. I wish I got a slightly darker shade. It's brightening for sure, and that's still a thing for some people. So if you like that look, this one might work. I'm also testing today the Neo Nude Giorgio Armani foundation, and I have that in 4.25. So this does seem a little bit light for that combo, but I do like how it is looking under my eye. It does not look like it's clinging to any of the crepiness or lines that I have going on. It's not doing like any kind of spandex level of smoothing like some of my favorites do, but it is looking very hydrating, very plumped. Let's try a damp sponge and see what we get here. I have this awesome new concealer sponge from e.l.f., but it's dirty right now. So this is just my old standby, the good old AOA Studios from Shop Miss A, the charity pawpaw sponges that are like $1.55. They're brilliant. Not as much coverage with the sponge as is usually to be expected, but it's a really nice look with the sponge. That looks really pretty. I wonder if we can build it up. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to build it up just a little bit with the brush for coverage, and then we are going to tap it out with the sponge and see if we can get that pretty finish. Because it looks really pretty with the sponge. I really like the finish. This does look and feel very hydrating. It feels like skincare under the eyes. You know, it feels like I just put my eye cream on, which is lovely because my under eyes are always dry. I like how this looks. I would call it light medium coverage. I don't think we're gonna get full coverage out of this. You know, I can still see some of the purple coming through, but of course you could color correct before you apply any kind of concealer and kind of diffuse that purple a bit. Let's zoom in and take a look at this one. I like how it sits on the skin. You don't really see the product on the skin, which is good. It just kind of is improving the skin. It's not settling into lines. It's not accentuating any lines. Okay, we might be getting a little bit of smoothing of some of my lines because really all I can see are the deeper ones. I can't really see the smaller micro lines. So I think we are getting a little bit of smoothing, which is nice. It is radiant. There is some reflect coming back from the light bouncing off of my under eye area. If that bothers you, then this is probably not the kind of finish for you, but I will say, you know, I'm in studio lighting, so I do have direct light coming at me, and in most lighting situations, you're not going to have direct light. but it is a radiant finish, and they claim that. So if that's what you're going for, I'm finding it to be quite pretty. Let's take a look at the time. It is 2:06. Let me put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. Back with the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. I did not have to set this with powder, which always brings me joy, and blend it in fine with foundation. I've had no trouble whatsoever. Really, everything has just been pretty doggone good in the concealer department. I will have everything I'm wearing listed down below. I will come back tonight. We'll wear this all day and see where we end up. 11:15 p.m. That puts us just past the 9-hour mark. Let's take a look at how the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer held up. Gotta say, I'm kind of impressed. It feels really nice. I think the hydration claims are accurate because I feel like my under eye is actually a bit more hydrated than when we started out. The fine lines are nicely plumped and that smooths them out. So I am getting the smoothing later in the day that I like to see. The only issue I'm seeing is separation along my deepest line on this eye. Let's zoom in and take a look. There is a bit of coverage missing. I feel like I'm a little bit more purple than I was when first applied, but I do feel like my under eye looks very hydrated. Like that look to me is when I can't see my micro lines. I can still see the deepest ones and it's separated a little bit along the deeper ones, but generally I think my under eyes look pretty doggone smooth. They look hydrated, they look not crepey, and that's what I'm going for. We've lost a little bit of coverage, so 9 hours is not a super extensively great wear time, but if you have dry skin, I think you're in good shape. If you've got maturing skin, it's not settling into lines, and I think it is doing a nice job at smoothing them out just a bit. So if I had to give a grade to the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, I'm gonna go A-. I really like it. I think it is quite nice. I wish the shade range was more inclusive on both ends of the spectrum. I wish it wore longer. That's about it. That's about it. Pretty doggone good. There you have it. Another episode of Concealer Fest is in the books. If you enjoy concealer reviews, if you had fun with this one, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Let me know in the comments what concealers you would like to see on this channel. Next, I do keep a spreadsheet of my concealer reviews on geekoutofwater.com. Click the Concealer Fest link. There's not as many as the foundation reviews that I have because I've only been keeping the spreadsheet for about a year now, but I add to it every time I review them, so feel free to check that out and you can see all the data from all of my previous reviews on there. As always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.